Welcome back to the Oddsbreaker. I'm Frank Trigg. Of course, that's Funky Ben Askren. He's in Singapore right now getting ready for his fight. Coming up here in 1FC. Ben, how long have you been gone? How long will you be over there by the time it's all said and done?
Well, I've been gone for 9 days right now. I did the press tour last week. I was all over Asia. I went to Kuala Lumpur, Manila, Phnom Penh, and Jakarta. So I was busy last week doing all that stuff. And then, this week, kind of Friday, Saturday, Sunday, settled into Singapore, got some good workouts in. And this week I'm training with the Evolve team. So got a good hard workout in this morning. And, it's like 1 in the afternoon over here. And I'm going back for another workout coming up soon.
Why so early? For acclimation, or did you have to do a bunch of media stuff?
Well, usually I'm going to come over 2 weeks early for, the acclimation process. This gym over here, Evolve, is awesome. They got a bunch of great coaches, so I feel real comfortable here. And then they wanted me to come a week before that for the media. I didn't want to do it, obviously. That would just be too much distraction, so we did it 2 weeks before, got it out of the way, and, was able to come over here and get some good training in.
Well, let's talk about Abbasov. What do you see? As you look at his record, he's split up. Like he has 11 wins, but he's like 5 submissions, 5 KOs, and then 1 decision. So he's kind of all over the map. But you're a guy that when you look at tape, you understand his competition too. So you know he got a submission against a weak guy, got a knockout against a weak guy. Where is he stronger? Is he stronger submission or stronger punching?
I would definitely say grappling. He's got that Sambo background. He took like 3rd in the Sambo World Championships or something a handful of years back. So I think Sambo's his background, which, they do some striking, but I think it's majority grappling art. He swings hard. He's not like a technical striker, someone you say, wow, he's a good striker, but he swings hard, and so in MMA, that's dangerous. His competition hasn't been great, so it's kind of hard to judge him because when you look at who he's fought, you're like, well, I don't really know these guys, and so it's hard to judge.
What are you going to do? Is this? To me, it seems like a typical, I'm an Olympic caliber wrestler. You're a high player of Sambo. I want to prove wrestling is better than Sambo. Is it going to become one of those fights where if it gets into the heat of it, obviously it's a fight, so you guys are going to punch and or whatever. But you get into the grappling portion of it, are you going to try and prove that wrestling is much better just by default, by getting on top and holding them down?
Of course wrestling's better. Wrestling is the #1 most dominant art in the history of the world. I don't know that I need to prove that. I think it's been proven time and time again. Obviously, I use my wrestling background. Just the whole time I've been fighting, I've been more comfortable intermingling my striking with my wrestling. So, just getting so much more comfortable, and it's all timing, right? So, in the beginning in wrestling, you never throw a punch, so all you know is take him down, keep him down, and it kind of feels weird throwing punches because it throws off your timing, but then the longer you fight, more holding them down and throwing strikes at the same time. It's kind of a unique mix that you got to have. So I've been getting even more comfortable than that than I was. So I'm really excited to get in there and just show that I've improved a lot even since my last fight.
Like Dana White, obviously the president of UFC comes out and he's like, oh, we don't want Askren when your contract ran out from Bellator because he's too boring. And you had a bunch of decisions in a row where you're just like decision. But the guys weren't easy fights. It wasn't like you weren't trying to finish them. Then your last 2 fights, you have a doctor stoppage by TKO, and then you have punches, win by TKO punches. You're on that pattern now. You've kind of gotten more comfortable. Like you said, you want to show the world you've improved your overall game as a fighter, and you've shown it with your hands. Up there at Rufus Sport, your hands have gotten so much better, and you've got a style now that fits your wrestling for striking. You're not trying to be a striker. You're trying to be a wrestler that strikes, and it's a lot better. Do you feel like that now, more so than ever, that you've got the ability to knock guys out, even on your feet, even before you take them down, you did 6-8 months ago?
I still don't spend a lot of time on my feet just because I'm so good at getting the takedown. But, yeah, like you said, just, you came from a wrestling background, so it's not like you're used to striking people, and it's not like something you practice every day where I practice wrestling every day. But my punches have just gotten a whole lot heavier. I've learned how to use my elbows really well. So, like you've seen in the last 2 fights, those were fights that early in my career I would have got decisions, no doubt about it. And I was able to do more damage and be more effective with my striking, and that's why I got the TKOs. So definitely getting more comfortable with, and just it's easier to hit harder once you kind of understand how to do it and get the feel for it.
You're a guy that loves tough competition. Like you thrive after you want the best guy on the planet.
Yeah.
You versus Carlos Condit. How's that fight end?
Well, he's not the best guy.
I'm getting there. Let's start first. Let's start first.
I mean, Condit, I just don't think he has any. I mean, you know, he's active off his takedown defense is crap. I mean, that's given. He's active off his back, but I'm not going to get caught in any submissions by Carlos Condit, so I feel like that's a dominating win for me. I do like watching him fight. I think he's awesome, but I don't think he's got a chance.
Robbie Lawler, how's that fight go? He's got great
That's a lot tougher.
Defense,
you know, I wrestled with Robbie, and I was really impressed by his wrestling. You know, I think he's like a high school state place winner or something, but not a college wrestler. But I was really impressed. So, I mean, that's obviously a tougher fight, but Robbie, I think, is ranked number 2 in the world right now, and you're not going to expect to get easy fights when you get towards the top. So I feel like I just put consistent pressure on him. I mean, that's one of the things that people underestimate about me is people have a hard time dealing with the pressure. Very few people fight with the amount of pressure I do. So, you know, technically, aesthetically, I might not be that pleasing, but once you get in there and you got to go 25 minutes with me or 15 minutes, it's a long time. And down. So, you know, I think I probably struggle early in that fight, but I wear him down and am able to implement my style by the end of the first, early second round.
All right, the big question, you and Johny Hendricks. That fight.
I want to fight that dude. You know, he beat me when we were 16 years old in wrestling, and he's trying to hold that victory over my head since then. You know, Frank, my senior year in college, I was a returning 174 national champ. He was returning 165, and I actually cut weight so I could certify to make 165, and I called the NWCA up, and I said, hey, listen, I know this hasn't been done before, but I want to wrestle Johny Hendricks. I'll make the weight. Don't even worry about it. And they said, oh, they're okay. And then they came back to me like a week later and said, oh, I'm sorry, it's too late. Or some crap, you know, just like typical wrestling politics bullshit. When that's the match everybody wants to see is me versus him. And then, you know, a couple years down the road, I had a kind of inside source tell me that they turned the match down is what I heard. He beat me when I was 16, and he's been trying to hold that over my head. He doesn't say anything about me because he knows I'd whoop him. I would love to fight Johny. I don't like him one bit. I really, really don't like him.
Oh, from a personality standpoint, you don't like him. Not only from a competition standpoint, you don't like anybody you compete against. It's how you are. But you don't like him as a person.
I don't like anything about Johny Hendricks.
Okay, so that is the fight that I want to see at the weight class. I want to see you versus him. I think it's going to be a major test of your chin because he's going to crack you with that left hand. He hits.
Oh yeah, he's going to hit me hard, but I mean, yeah, that's what he does. He's got strong punching, and that's been shown. I think if there's one thing, I think his wrestling's went way downhill. I mean, I see him sometimes give up some takedowns in a few of these fights, and I'm thinking like, wow. I mean, because he was legit really good in college. I mean, you know, he's 2-time national champ. I mean, really, and more than anything, he was hard to score on for people. So. You know, I think that part of it went way downhill, and I don't think we've ever seen any high level. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist. I just don't. I don't think it's there. I've seen him have questionable cardio in a few fights, mainly the Condit one. So definitely, I would love to fight him. I mean, win, lose, or draw, I'd be happy just getting the chance to go kick his ass.
Unfortunately, right now, all those guys we just talked about, Condit, Lawler, and Hendricks, the top, you know, in my mind, the best guys in the weight class besides yourself.
Well, I think you know who I think is going to make a run here is my friend Tyrone Woodley. I'm excited about how he's been performing lately. He's got I think he fights this weekend against Rory McDonald.
He does.
And I can't really stand Rory either, so I hope Tyrone just plasters him with the right hand.
Well, and that's the other thing. But I didn't want to ask you about him because you guys were you guys went to the University of Missouri. You've known him for a very long time. Would you fight each other if that was the first?
No, I mean I would personally never fight him. And if he was the champ. And, somehow we ended up in the same organization, I would just say that's your belt you got there. There's so many people I don't like. Why would I fight someone I do like? Since I was 17 years old, we've been friends. That's like a dozen years now. So, yeah, no reason to fight him. And I really hope he plasters Rory McDonald this weekend. And I think, if he does that, he's coming off wins over Condit and McDonald. He could theoretically get a title shot against Hendricks.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. It's Ben Askren getting ready to fight here in 1FC. It's going to be a great fight to finally see you, getting back after it again. I wish, though, that the competition level would be a little bit higher for you because you are beating up everybody easily that you're facing, and I want to see some tougher competition being thrown your way. Hopefully, Victor Chu over at ONE FC can make that happen.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, we don't know much about this guy, so I got to just go in there and be focused and prepared. And ONE FC is growing. I mean, the press tour over here was insane. Every place I showed up had like 40 reporters. I mean, literally, I was shocked. I thought we were going to go to some of these places and it's going to be like 3 people there. Literally, there's 40 people there. And like, if you Google, you know, my name is something crazy. So ONE FC is growing by leaps and bounds right now. So I wouldn't be too far amiss if they can bring someone over here with, you know, within a year or so that really can try to challenge me at least. But right now, you know, my mind's on Abbasov. I'm going to beat him up. And I'm going to challenge Suzuki for the belt. Hopefully get that around my waist, and then we'll go from there.
Ben, thanks for taking some time, especially at lunchtime in Singapore. I appreciate it. Good luck. We'll talk to you soon, bud.
No problem. Thanks a lot.